We just settle into our space, our unity of London space, our space of divine presence, our space of inner love, and openness to being with one another. And when we say welcome home, whoops. When we say welcome home, we're saying welcome home to our spiritual center, a place that is abundant in so many different ways. And our abundance comes from inside and flows outside. We're open to new ideas. We're open to supporting each other. We're open to developing through transformation, through laughter, through hugs, through smiles. And in all of that, we are evolving peace. A peace that transforms our lives. We have 5 basic principles, and I invite you to join with me in sharing them if you feel comfortable. God is all good and active in everything, everywhere. I am naturally good because God's divinity is within me and in everyone. I create my experience by what I choose to think and what I feel and believe. And I would also add by what I do. Through affirmative prayer and meditation, I connect with God and bring out the good in my life. I do my best to... Thank you. Thank you. Make a difference. I'm going to say that again. Thank you for our helpers. I do my best by living the truth I know. I make a difference. Yes. On then to that. And that's every single one of you. I did bring my glasses up because I have my notes with me. In case you wonder why I take them on and off, but you probably don't even wonder that. When I practice being the change, I practice being the change by being candid, honest, authentically myself, and so do you. But we are also practicing the change by the smiles we share, by our openness in sharing, by our kindness to each other and our kindness to strangers. That's all part of us being the change in this world. And we each do it slightly differently. And as I wrote to a friend, vive la différence. And that's, I don't know if Renee's here to hear me say that French phrase. I feel so proud of myself. We coexist. And we coexist by providing fellowship and education for spiritual seekers of all walks of life. They can come in our door no matter what their faith, what their background, what their color, their culture, their tradition. They are all welcome at Unity of London and at unities all over the world. And that's coexistence. And Mark Stanton Welch, one of my favorite singers. And if you want to join in the song, please do so.
I am alive with the passion and power. I am alive with my purpose in life. I have the strength, the skill, the courage of faith to free the Christ inside. I am. I am alive with the passion and power. I am alive with my purpose in life. I have the strength, the skill, the courage, the faith to free the Christ inside. I am. I am alive with the passion and power. I am alive with my purpose in life. I have the strength, the skill, the courage, the faith to free the Christ inside. I am. I free the Christ inside. I free the Christ to be I am alive with the passion and power. I am alive with my purpose in life. I have the strength, the skill, the courage, the faith to free the Christ inside. I am. I am alive with the passion and power. I am alive with my purpose in life. I have the strength, the skill, the courage, the faith to free the Christ inside. I shall be free.
You give yourselves a round of applause, and Sylvia, double dose. Thank you.
There isn't one person in here not smiling right now.
That's true. That's true. Maybe Lorraine did that on purpose. We have a prayer chest, and I love the carving. Oops, thank you. We have a prayer chest, and I love the carving. It's one of those days. The prayer chest holds our affirmations. And when you put a name of someone you love or someone you care, or someone you is close to your heart, or someone you wish was close to your heart, you put the name of the person into that chest. When we say we pray over it, what we're doing is affirming with positive energy all that is right and good for that person. We don't know the specifics. We don't need to know the specifics. So affirmative prayer is something that we will be addressed in our prayer chaplain training, which is coming up the 15th and 16th. But it's also something that we do regularly. Affirmative prayer. We need it in our world, and we need it here. It's focusing on what is good and whole and healthy. Today our prayer chaplains will be Dawn and Wilda online, and I invite you, if you wanted to meet with Dawn, please do so in the prayer room, or if she prefers, right in here. All prayers are confidential. And I invite you now to quiet your mind, to relax into your chair, to breathe in the positive, affirming, loving energy in this room. And as we absorb that positive, loving, affirming energy. We can feel alive with our power and purpose, which is to be divine presence in this world, in whatever way you can. In this time of prayer, we hold in loving prayer, affirming the spiritual strength and the discernment of all leaders, political leaders, spiritual leaders, educational leaders, health leaders, and you, leaders in our community. That is all of you. We affirm that we can lead with wisdom, guided by faith and surrounded by love. We hold in prayer any of our Unity of London members who may be facing special challenges right now. May you feel surrounded with love and embraced in divine power, filled with faith, overbrimming with the knowledge that who you are right now in this moment is all you are meant to be. If you wish to whisper the names of those close to your hearts, please do that now. This month, we hold in prayer Unity Spiritual Center, Ottawa, and Unity of Calgary Spiritual Community. For all of your prayers, those within your hearts, we say Amen. And it's a pleasure for me to welcome up our platform assistant for this morning, Nancy Youngson.
Well, today's reading and today's speaker are both messages that I certainly am looking forward to having in my heart. Wisdom. Wisdom guides my words and actions. When I have felt torn, trying to decide which way to go and how to handle a trying situation, I may have asked in prayer for the insight and guidance needed. As I have grown spiritually, I've come to realize that any insight and guidance I could need are within me, aspects of my divine inheritance. Divine wisdom is my ability to intuit, to sense, and to discern my best choice. I pay attention to my hunches, flashes of inspiration, and the whispers of guidance I feel in the quiet moments. I believe they are divinely inspired, even if they surprise me. In confidence and with gratitude, I move in the direction of my highest good, trusting in my innate wisdom. From Isaiah chapter 30, verse 21. And when you turn to the right, or when you turn to the left, your ears shall hear a word behind you, saying, "This is the way. Walk in it." Wendy's back. Wendy Karr joined Unity in 1984 and received her licensed Unity teacher status in 2000. Wendy's been a facilitator of Unity's courses for over 20 years and has been honored to be made adjunct faculty at the Unity Worldwide Spiritual Institute. In 2024, Wendy began co-hosting an online spirit group, What's So Good About the Good Book? It's a safe space to explore Unity's take on the Bible. Wendy's Sunday lessons bring an eclectic, not eccentric, eclectic mix of knowledge, scriptural reference, and life experiences. And she says she is honored to be with us today. And with her message, The Strength of Love, let's welcome Wendy.
Thanks, Nancy. Good morning, Unity London. I didn't realize how on point this talk was going to be until I was driving here this morning. And it was confirmed by the first song. We are one, but we are different, right? Why do I have two colors? Because in Unity, some people will tell you that February is the month of strength, and other people will tell you, no, it's the month of love. So I combined the two because I don't want to cause a fight. So for those of you who are new to Unity or are watching at a later time on social media, I'll just give you a quick, what's she talking about, strength and love and month and stuff. So in Unity, one of our core beliefs and teachings is about the 12 powers, which was created by our co-founder, Charles. Now, I know I've said this before, I say it again. His wife, our co-founder, Myrtle, was big on oneness. She didn't go into this 12 stuff. And I have it on reliable authority. There were some public situations where she made her opinions known very clearly, that she really didn't like what Charles was doing. But what Charles did, and I freely admit I'm a big fan of both of them. Some folks aren't, and that's okay. But what I really love about this is the idea of breaking down our spiritual teachings into smaller portions. As Nancy said, I'm a facilitator. I teach classes. And sometimes it's just too big to eat. It's like walking into a restaurant where they have a buffet and you're told you have to take one of everything and you have to eat it at one time. No. Go up, take what you like, take what calls to you. You know, perhaps you're not big on Bible. I have now been called by the group that I co-facilitate. My spirit group, when they introduced me, alternately called me the Bible geek, the Bible guru, or the newest one, the Bible goddess. Yes! But Bible isn't for everybody. I get that. Meditation may not be your thing. I know I was on a call where we had a 20-minute meditation, and I was thinking to myself, I have not done a 20-minute silent meditation since I was in school, which is 25 plus years ago. And it was a lesson for me about I'm out of practice doing a long meditation. So I need to work on that. But our 12 powers, that opportunity to bring in aspects of our spirituality in smaller chunks. So back, I don't know, a year, 2, 3 ago, I did a whole year where we did one of the powers. And I confess these are the same slides because, I couldn't come up with a new idea. It worked then, so why not? So we started in January with faith. And as you can see, there are 4 levels to that. Even though it looks like it's one, it reflects how we get into a bigger space. So we have blind faith. Just that gravity works. I don't get how it works, but I just have blind faith that my feet will stay on the ground, my car will stay on the road, things like that. Intellectual faith, that's when I can get into, oh, okay, I understand the rain cycle. I know that when I see clouds that look like that, there's going to be a heck of a lot of snow, and I'd better go get my groceries before it starts. So very intellectual. And then we have understanding faith, that faith that I don't even have the words for it, okay? You're like, you've got the thought up here or you've got the feeling here, and then you get it down here in your solar plexus and something down here says yes. Anyone else have that? Okay, I'm not the only one. All right. Whew. And then we have spiritual faith where we can let go
fucking
of
people that I don't even fucking talk to.
human things. God is calling. And we're out of our brains, and we're more in our human experience, our sense-based experience, and we are into our faith of spiritual understanding and experience. So, February, in Charles's original idea, strength was next, because who was the first apostle called? Who was the first disciple called? Peter. Who was the second? Andrew. Andrew represents strength, so he's number 2. The reason we have this flip with strength and love is because if you've got kiddos in Sunday school, you want to have Valentine's Day. I mean, lots of hearts and excuses for cookies on the Sunday closest to the 14th. Come on. So some folks will put love first in that spot. I struggle with that. I understand the idea. So this is my understanding faith. I get why you do it with the kids, but for me, strength is what you need next in building your house of powers, or innate abilities, or spiritual gifts, or whatever you want to call them. So there's lots of kinds of strength. I want to quickly go through 4. So physical, emotional, intellectual, and spiritual. You might get an idea where this is going. From Charles, in Prosperity of All Things, we know that strength is manifest everywhere, for we see it in the mechanical world. A great locomotive starts from the depot, moving slowly at first, but when it gains momentum, it speeds down the track like a streak. Thus it is with spiritual strength. Beginning sometimes with a very small thought, it takes on momentum and eventually becomes a powerful idea. Charles passed in 1948, so he didn't see a lot of the momentum that we're experiencing. He would not have seen rockets go into space. He would not have seen the space station. All of these things that involve momentum and strength and the capacity of things made out of metal to go through the atmosphere and come back through the atmosphere and survive. So it's both, and with our human side and our spiritual side. So I want to talk about emotional strength first, because emotional strength sometimes can be less than ideally suited. By that I mean many of us as a culture have been taught, don't show your emotions. Especially, no offense to you guys, but men especially, I have found, are taught, don't cry. Stiff upper lip. Those of us that are of British descent, a stiff upper lip. Even if you're bleeding out, don't cry. You got to be strong. You got to. And I think I can safely say that mentally, in the human form, it's not always a healthy choice. Certainly spiritually, stuffing down our emotions is not a healthy choice. So by emotional strength, I don't mean that everything's going to heck in a handbasket and I'm fine with it. I am so fine. It's fine what's going on. No, it's about having the strength to say, you know what? I'm just going to remove myself from this space for a little while. I'm going to go someplace quiet by myself, whether it's out in nature, if you got the snowshoes for it or the skis for it, because, don't get lost out there in the snow, please. But to go somewhere and to express those emotions, to feel those emotions, to allow those emotions to be released. And I saw a great thing after I had sent in my slides, and it was about all of the healthy benefits of having a really good cry. And the person who posted it just had said, wow, this is inspiring to me. And on Facebook, I put this, and then I put an arrow, and then I put some hearts. And she privately messaged me and said, thank you. I needed the support that it was okay for me to do what I had posted. I thought it was for everyone else. I didn't realize it was for me too. And she shared that she had had a really good cry about what was happening in the world right now. And it didn't change anything, but she felt the knots in her shoulders lessening. Her stomach wasn't upset, and she had had a really good sleep that night. So I invite you to consider emotional strength not as tamping it down, but being aware and being willing to look in the mirror and say, what am I feeling right now? It can be a hard one. I get that. I'm really good at that stuffing down stuff. Another talk, but so know that you're not alone in that. Our second version of strength is physical. And now here, again, we're mainly talking about human strength. Whether it's, my stepson has said, if you need some help moving furniture, let me know. I'll come over. So I've got my to-do list for him, so that when he comes, it'll be a good use of his time. But we've all heard stories, or maybe we've even been part of, something falls on someone that's really heavy. And all of a sudden, a mother looks at her child who's about to, is under a car. Suddenly there's that strength that we can't explain. We cannot humanly explain it, but we can spiritually explain it. And that's the kind of strength we're talking about. Not worrying so much about, how our muscles are, but just trusting that when we need that extra physical strength, it will come through us when we need it. Intellectual strength. This, for me, is the ability to stand firm in what I believe, in what I know, in what I understand. And sometimes, especially right now, with some cousins of mine in a very ruby red state in the US of A, intellectual strength means that I don't buy into what she's posting, because I understand for myself that is not, it doesn't compute. Now, I don't get into an argument with her, and I choose to remain firm in my beliefs. And I had a great example of that growing up, and I'm sure I've shared before that one of my great uncles was a diplomat. He was actually behind the scenes when Prime Minister Pearson was trying to keep the world from blowing up during the Suez Canal crisis. And actually in my grade 12 history book, it said that he was the behind-the-scenes power. But I knew my great uncle. He would not have been threatening people. He would have been talking to them. He would have been communicating. Tell me about yourself. Tell me what it is that's important to you. Let me see if I can find a way to bridge this gap that we have. And so for me, that was very much intellectual strength. And finally, we have spiritual strength. And for me, that's just knowing that it's there sometimes is enough. I may not be expressing it in its fullness, but just to know that I have a physical spine and I have a spiritual spine, and that between the two of those things, I can be whatever I need to be in the moment. For me, spiritual strength, I know I've shared this story before, but maybe some of you haven't heard it. I used to work in the court system in Brampton, which is one of the larger courthouses, and we had a live shooter. I mean, live shooter, Canada, courthouse, those are not three words that you put together, right? And I remember my spiritual strength was I immediately got on my phone, texted my husband, and said, get praying, stuff is happening here. So I knew I could just let that go because he was taking care of it. And I took a couple of moments, it probably wasn't even 3 minutes, just to recenter myself so that I was the best person I could be in that moment. And comfort those who were terrified. And find ways of just trying to stay calm and at peace, even though part of me was terrified. But that was spiritual strength in action. From Reverend Jim Rosemary, some of you may know him. He's a Unity minister. He's really big into mysticism. He's got a new book coming. I'm looking forward to it. Physical strength comes from fatiguing the muscles a bit, so they bounce back stronger than before. Spiritual strength, we are told, comes from quietness, stillness, and silence. Amazing, isn't it, that spiritual strength comes from inactivity while physical strength comes from action. However, once we feel the strength only Spirit can give, then we are prepared to move forward with boldness and daring. Did folks at the courthouse know I was praying? No. Did they know that Silent Unity was praying with us? Because I got the text from them saying, we got the message from your husband. We're holding you in light and love. You know, we're supporting you. These are the things that you learn over time. That's why I love the 12 powers, because having not tried to digest everything in one big bite, having broken it down into smaller pieces, I was able then to pull on them and to grow those and to see the fullness of what it could be, rather than, oh, what do I need to do now? Which power do I need right now? No, it came very naturally because I had put, by that point I had been in Unity over 30 years. So lots of experience with these. So 3 questions I want you to consider for the next week. What does strength mean to me? There was a time when I was a kid, it was about how many books you could carry out of the library. Now, whether or not I actually read them was another thing, but, you know, it was like, look at me, I got all these books. Where am I strong? I know that my spiritual strength has the potential to be the strongest, but I'm also aware that sometimes I forget. I got the term, and I forget which class I was in, that somebody brought up the idea of spiritual amnesia. That while we're in this place, we remember everything, and as soon as we get back out in the world with all of its challenges, we forget. And to be very gentle with ourselves, please hear me there, but just to acknowledge that, yes, sometimes we forget. Sometimes it just seems so horrific that we don't know how we can deal with it. How can I balance strength and love? It sounds like it's contradictory, doesn't it? Love is, you know, soft and warm and fuzzy, and strength, you know, He-Man kind of stuff. Well, let's go back to our bands here and look at this. Emotional strength. Probably the greatest gift you can give another person is your vulnerability. That ability for you to share that deepest part of yourself. I remember the first time I saw my husband cry. It was before we were married, actually, and that kind of, you know, we were engaged, but that kind of solidified it for me, that he was able to be that open with me. And to me, that was a good start. Hey, we lasted 25 years before he passed, so, you know, must be some truth in there somewhere. But for me, vulnerability is actually a strength. A lot of people will say it's a weakness. I see it as a strength because you're entrusting that person and your willingness to say, okay, here's my heart. Here's what I'm thinking. And to me, that takes a lot of strength to be willing to open up in that way. Physical strength and love. Well, I've already given you a hint of, you know, something's on top of a loved one and suddenly you find that love. And through that love and that strength, you're able to pull them out or whatever it is you need to do. People don't see love as strong. Certainly not in the physical way. But I'd invite you to consider There was a song we used to sing. I'll have to find it again. I love myself so much that I can love you so much, that you can love you so much that you can start loving me. And I got thinking about physical. I love myself so much that I will do what it takes with exercise, with diet, with mental well-being, so that I am the best person that I can be to support you and to be there for you. As a caregiver, I'm discovering that that is very important, having those three aspects of my life in good stead. Well, actually, let me add a fourth, sleep. Sleep is a good thing. Sleep is a very good thing. But that idea that our physical strength can come out of love, can be underpinned by love. I do not like exercising, okay, folks? When I hit grade 9 and PE was suddenly an option, I stopped because I had learned that it was going to be competitive. I was going to be asked to do things I didn't feel safe doing, asked to compete with my classmates, some of whom were really good friends. And so I've had to find the strength to say, okay, as an adult now, I'm going to do exercises because I love myself enough to keep my body healthy, and I love my friends and family, or family and friends, let's put that in the correct order, enough that I will be in good shape for them. Intellectual. Yeah, love and intellect. Charles and Myrtle, how did they meet? Do you know? They met at a literary society meeting. Charles had very little education. He was homeschooled by a neighbor's mother who was homeschooling her son. And yet, the two of them found this intellectual connection that underpins the unity movement. And finally, spiritual strength and love. Well, this is where it gets balanced. This is where we find that spiritual strength, human love, spiritual love, and we find that balance. That's one of the things we do with all the 12 powers, is have them in balance with each other. And for me, 51-49 is close enough to be balanced. Because anyone who's been on a teeter-totter will know that that's still enough that you can kind of hold that space. And then we have our foundation of faith underneath. Guess what? I'm building a house with the rest of these. But that to me is the core, the faith and the strength. If those are the only two of the 12 that you investigate, that you learn about, that's a really, really good start. That's a really, really solid foundation. Next month is wisdom, and then comes love. So the first 4, to me, are, if that's what you can get a handle on, you're well set, in my opinion. And with that, how we can put love and strength together, or strength and love together, it doesn't really matter, because, as the song said, it's all one, right? All right, let us prepare for our time of meditation. The photo you're seeing and will see is from last year when I was at the village. Having come into our space where we feel that oneness, where we know our connection, where we know these 12 powers merge into the one that we are. For inner peace, my thoughts become still in the state of peace. Let's just take a moment and take those words in. Visualize what state of peace means. And now allow that concept of state of peace, that strength, that love that underpins it, to flow into our world. Our affirmation for love. Love is my name and compassion is my practice. Breathing in the love. Breathing out any toxicity. Letting go and releasing. For wisdom. I embody divine wisdom. And let's breathe that in. Knowing and affirming that I make the best possible choice with whatever information I have. And if I learn later that there is a better choice to be made, I do not shun myself. I do not berate myself. I did the best I could with the wisdom I had. And going forward, as I gain wisdom, I am free to make choices.
Right on my phone.
And for prosperity, I am a channel for the flow of abundance. We know that we are a gift to the world in who we are, in the knowledge we bring, in the experience we share, and in the love we surround folks with. Prosperity is not limited to cash. It encompasses health, well-being, and knowledge that all is well. For health, centered in wholeness, I am healthy. And by healthy, we mean physically, mentally, psychologically, spiritually, financially, in our relationships, in our employment, in every aspect of our lives, we are healthy. And now let us join in a time of silence, allowing these 3 questions to resonate with you. What does strength mean to me? Where am I strong? How can I balance strength and love in the silence? And as we come back into this space and this awareness, let us join together in this affirmation. I am strong and I am love. So it is, and it is so. Amen. And thank you.
It's always a pleasure to have Wendy here. Wendy, who's a friend and a mentor to many of us, and who brings a message that we can live with and learn from, strength and love. And as we go through this coming week, Wendy, I'm sure that everybody who heard your message and those who will perhaps listen to it online will resonate with those two words, strength and love, and throw in some wisdom as well. Thank you very much. Please take apart this song, everyone. Chose it for a reason. Ooh. And we sang that out loud, affirming it. What a powerful song that is. Here at Unity of London, we depend on your time, your talent, and your contributions of finances. They help us to pay our bills, to keep our wondrous building standing and well heated and lit. We are grateful to you, grateful for all who share in their tithes, in their talent, and in their energy. And we affirm prosperity and abundance for Unity of London and all of our spiritual communities in all forms and in all realms abundance in body, mind, and spirit. And we thank Kate and Renee, who are out there collecting and who will soon come back up to the front. And we invite you to join in our blessing when they come back up. It's all right. You can be imagining all the blessings flowing. Divine love flowing through me blesses and multiplies all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. And we have some exciting announcements today. Today is our annual general meeting, 2025, Sunday, February 23rd, and the meeting will begin at 12 o'clock. And we invite everybody to stay. It's an exciting time. Wednesday music nights with our dear Jim Chapman. And February 26th will be our next music night. That sounds quite interesting. Lost Philosophers. Woo. David Pearson, Jillian Barker, The Heartaches, Amanda Lynn Stubley, and Martin Horick, and Aching Bones. Les Holmes and Jim Chapman. I'm guessing that Jim came up with these titles. I'm not sure. And could you give a big round of applause to Jim, who's with us today? You cannot go anywhere for only $10. And it's a wondrous concert. Jim moved the time back to accommodate people who like to go to bed earlier. So it begins at 7:30, and there's lots of parking. And just a time of enjoyment and fun. $10 at the door, or you can email it to Jim. Our daily words have arrived here for March and April. They are in the bookstore. They're only $10. This is a wondrous investment because there is a daily word for every day. You heard Nancy read it today. And those messages are profound. They're in simple language. They're workable and doable every day. And then there's a little essay at the beginning. Today it's a fairly long one that continues in the second part. So consider investing for yourself in our daily word. Unity Basics sounds so, it really is pizza and principles or values and veggies. But it is about Unity Basics. And if you're considering joining Unity as a member, it's a requirement. So I will be doing that next Sunday, March 2nd. And we'll be open to questions and answers, but mainly it will be a sharing. And you can see on there that the sharing will involve a little bit of the history of London. What do we stand for? Why do we call ourselves inclusive rather than exclusive? Very important distinction. Inclusive, not exclusive. So I hope that you will attend. And dear Dawn has offered to make gluten-free pizza. Or regular pizza, she's hollering out. Or bring your own food if you want. Prayer training. And this is something that Sylvia Vanderhoek, Wilda, and myself will be facilitating. And you can see the times up there. Saturday, March 15th, 9:30 to 4 o'clock, and Sunday, 12 o'clock to 3 o'clock. The investment is your time, and we're also inviting you to learn about affirmative prayer for $50. That sounds weird, doesn't it? To learn about affirmative prayer, we're inviting you to contribute $50. And if someone really wants to learn about affirmative prayer and you don't have $50, come anyway. You'll still be very welcome. And our prayer chaplaincy training, March 29th, 9:30 to 4. And I'm so delighted that we have 3 prospective prayer chaplains. And that will be wondrous, because those prayer chaplains will also, once they've undergone or once they've enjoyed and learned from our prayer chaplain training, will then receive extra training if they choose to become platform leaders. The Lenten series is beginning this coming Wednesday. It seems as though we just did Advent, but it's beginning, March 5th. Sorry, not this Wednesday. I'm pushing it now. It begins on Wednesday, March 5th, from 2 to 3:30 in the afternoon. I know that Judy Murakami from Comox, British Columbia, will be part of one of the facilitators. I'll also be on along with Wendy and some of our other licensed Unity teachers. And I took a quick look at the booklet. It is available. You can download it for free if you go to that website. And the website is www.unitycanada.org/general-interest-classes. And it's not, well, take a look at it. I think it's a super booklet. I know that 3 of us are going to the Unity Canada conference in Calgary. Kate, Renee, and I will be there. And Wendy, 4 of us, oh yay. And should be a wondrous event, and we'll bring back lots of news about what's going on. And if anybody still wanted to register, you could. So the registration is up there. And it's a special spiritual retreat center that looks quite beautiful. Let us join together in this such a powerful affirmative prayer. The light of God surrounds me. I am the light. The love of God enfolds me. I am the love. The power of God protects me. I am the power. The presence of God watches over me. I am the presence. Wherever I am, God is, and all is well. Yea, God. Now, before the song begins, there will be a song. I have a couple of reminders. You notice I have a bell. Has a nice sound. It was from my Aunt Rita. Some of you brought hot food today, and you will have a chance to go before anybody else. Everybody else after our song is just going to stay here. You can chat or just be quiet. Anybody who brought hot food and they want to plug it in, you'll be totally amazed and delighted that Dave Shield and Michael came in on Saturday and spent hours and hours putting in extra plugs, electrical outlets. Yay, yay, to both of them. And so if you brought hot food, there is no danger of you blowing fuses. You can plug it in. But rather than all of us go tearing in there because we're so anxious to eat, we're going to let the people who brought hot food go first. Give them a few minutes to set up. Then you will go in, and then rather than diving into your food right away, wait for the bell. Then, because I'm the platform leader today, I will give I promise it will be a short prayer of thanks before we eat. Hope that suits everybody. If it doesn't, I loved bells because I was a teacher. All right, so now our song, and we invite everybody to join hands in love and singing. Also, if anybody wants to come up and share thanks for Wendy, please do that. Or anybody who's online. Whoops. Wilda and Carol. Carol's online.
Okay. Yeah, I just have a couple things about your strength and love, and all I saw was this big red, I don't know if it was a person, somebody in a heart costume and going like this. Okay? But the second thing the first thing I noticed when you were having your pillars of intellectual and physical and such, I saw this table that was upside down. I don't know if anybody else saw that. So you know how we see it. Anyway, so my perspective was, yes, so those are the legs of a table. So we flip it over, and we're using it still to hold that up. So that just kind of resonated with me, and just, we use it all for, and we use those, working with children all the time. We always use those cognitive and physical, and so it was really well done today. I really appreciate all the info. Thank you so much. And appreciate you.
Thanks, Renee. Dave?
I'd just like to thank Janet Anderson for making our little electrical project come to fruition by supplying the material, covering the cost for that, and Mike and I chipped in our time and got it done. So thanks, Janet.
I want to ask Wilda, who's online, if she wants to come into the AGM this afternoon. Wilda?
Yes, I do, please. Yes, I do,
okay.
please. Thank you. Thanks, Irene.
I'll start a new meeting when we're ready, okay?
Oh, so we're going to disconnect this one? Can't we just do this?
Yeah, I'll disconnect because I want to separate out the recording.
Okay, thank you.
Well, I wasn't going to come up, but Renee pointed out the upside down table. And it really reminded me of Jesus Christ Superstar, when Jesus gets really angry and upsets the tables. And I was just, this whole thing about emotion and expressing it, how there's such